All right, I'm joined by my good buddy here, Eagle Spitz, who is the founder of Punk for the Homeless. And yeah, he contacted me yesterday, basically, because of a crisis in Sierra Leone. And I just want to help you get the word out. Do you want to tell us what's going on over there?
Okay, should I start at the beginning? That'll be good, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Eagle Spitz, founder of Punk for the Homeless. We've been going for 11 years, 13 years, and for the past 4 years, we've been working with an orphanage in Sierra Leone in McKinney Town. Um, After the Ebola crisis, a school teacher, Rashid, took in 73 orphan girls into his three-bedroom house with his
Wow.
teenage brother and their elderly mother. So they're safe. They're all sleeping on the floor still in two rooms, but we managed to get them mattresses through lockdown. We managed to keep them clothed, fed, and educated, and that's all down to putting on DIY punk gigs and everybody getting involved.
Wow.
So
73, did you say?
there's 73 girls in the orphanage, and the orphanage is basically them sleeping on the floor and being loved and cared for with very little.
Yeah.
Um, And we've got one blind girl was put over there who turned up at the orphanage, and they couldn't take her in, so they got her into residential school. So she's doing really well as well, and they're getting really well educated. And we put so much work into Hope Orphanage the past few years. We've had some, yeah. I mean, it's great that we're a punk scene managed to keep them all alive and fed and educated. But there's situations which have been little successes for us. In Sierra Leone, 85% of women have been cut, have been
Yeah.
genitally mutilated. Last year, one of the local chiefs and a couple of his cronies turned up at the orphanage, putting pressure on the girls to be cut. Rashid went to the police because it is illegal, and the police were ignoring him. Then he said, "I'm going to report you to Punk for the Homeless in the UK." And the police said to the chief, "If you go back to that orphanage again, we're going to lock you up."
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, so little oasis there, and but they are all wonderful girls. We speak to them every week. I call us through Zoom, through um recently. I mean, Sierra Leone's got a bad history. It's a terrible history. Um, I think it was 21 years ago the brutal civil war
Yep.
finished. Um, Rashid saw his brother chopped up in front of him and stuff. So it's been harrowing over. Um, so that's stopped. Um,
Why is that
and then
country? Why is the
also,
country getting so many problems? Why is it, why has it got so many problems, do you think?
well, I think it's like any poor country. If it's got any wealth, it gets taken.
Yeah.
Obviously, sort of Sierra Leone is well known for its diamonds. That doesn't change the fact that everybody in that country is living in poverty. So one of the issues is that it's coming up to a general election on Saturday.
Okay.
It's the fifth since the end of the Civil War. But in between that, we've had the Ebola crisis. All our girls were orphaned by the Ebola crisis.
Hmm.
But at the moment, we've got the elections, and they're not. The opposition party, hold on, what they called APC, All People's Congress,
Okay.
have put in a complaint against the election committee because they consider last time things to have been a bit fixed.
Hmm.
It's like there's 8.8 million people in Sierra Leone, only 3.3 are registered to vote. And I'm not a big voting fan. I'm more of an anarchist than anything. However, I think it is a step closer to getting fed and sort of. I mean, they've got 43% inflation rate at the moment. However, so back to the point of this is that a few days ago in Freetown, which is the capital of Sierra Leone, the military opened fire on people getting ready for a peaceful protest. The protests were outlawed, but they were still peaceful. And I mean, a couple of days ago, I mean, it was horrific. I saw a video of some guy bleeding out in front of me. And none of that's being covered by mainstream or any press
Right.
outside Sierra Leone.
Why is that, do you think?
Sierra Leone have tried to put a block on anything coming out,
Okay.
the government, and I just don't think the Western government is that interested.
Mm.
You know, it's not a Commonwealth country anymore. They've had the wealth out of the bloody country. What more do they want? Yeah. You know, and I think
there's no country speaking out for them.
There's not many people. What is happening is it is being suppressed. It's like we posted some videos a couple of days ago on the Punk4TheHomeless site, which almost instantly disappeared.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been very, very quiet, and yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, and the EU and the British and everybody else has said, have called them to have a peaceful election, but the current Prime Minister, I mean, he's been known for his brutality over the years.
So it's the current regime that are opening fire on people that are protesting?
Yeah, so you've got the People's Congress. So you've got All People's Congress Sierra Leone,
right?
Which is the head of that is a guy called Bio, and he was this will be his last time to be. He can be elected.
Okay.
Because I think it's his last possible term to run.
Okay.
But I mean, last year people were complaining about food shortages and stuff. There was a few demonstrations, and the government was saying that they're calling for overthrow of government, which they weren't. They were just saying they're bloody hungry. You need to wake up and do something. So that's the situation. A blockage on any news coming out of Sierra Leone. So I've been talking to anybody who can, anybody who's helped us get the news out there, and let the government know that they are being watched from outside the country.
And do you think that will have an effect on them to know that they're being watched?
I'm hoping so. Yeah. It's a lot more difficult to do something when it's in the light.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of do something and say, well, that's not exactly what happened. So
3% inflation.
43%.
I used to work with a guy in Sierra Leone. In my work, we used to employ a couple of people from there, and they were very hungry, and there was, a whole family living, in one room. And I was telling him about quinoa and saying how it's really fast to grow and it's full of protein and it will feed you. And he said, well, that's great because, we could have a little farm and I could feed the whole street. So I sent him some quinoa seeds and everything, but it never got there. Apparently, it's illegal to send them stuff to try and help themselves, which is...
one of the problems is that we've tried sending several things over to Sierra Leone, to the orphanage, but nothing gets there. But when everybody's poor, you can't blame somebody for helping themselves to, when somebody's close to starving, you can't blame them for helping themselves to something which is going through the country.
Yeah, so it was probably stolen by somebody else.
Yeah, who was desperately in need.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can't get anything over to the girls. I mean, we send money via MoneyGram and Western Union, so they can go and get. But our other sort of, with everything going up in price, although it's just cost us, I think it's just cost us £1,200 to get all the girls inoculated against malaria and typhoid because they were getting really poorly. Because what happened is the government sold all its trees to China. So
Right.
obviously everywhere gets flooded. So and our girls have to walk to work to school. We go to 3 schools. Abdul, the young teenage brother, accompanies them all because sadly Rashid had a stroke a couple of years ago and he's still not well. So they have to be accompanied to school. And I mean, at the moment they're traipsing through water because and then sort of living there, everyone's become more swampy. So typhoid
Would you
and
say they
malaria.
sold all their trees to China? They literally took the trees and took them away, or
Well, a lot of them have disappeared,
right?
but
But
China own the trees. So a lot of places have been cut down and stuff. So I guess once you're desperate, you'll do anything. But it's like, I don't think the people who make these decisions are as desperate as the people at the bottom.
Yeah. So the opposition, so other leadership, do they look like they care to have a little bit of, social care for people in their country? Do you know much
Well,
about that?
I mean, one of the things in the manifesto is about the poverty and inflation and stuff. But I guess it's like our governments, do a lot of talk, but seldom come through very, very much. So, I mean, if they get in, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, the issue is that the opposition has been silenced through guns.
And people that went to protest, they were protesting again because of inflation
Well,
and food.
basically, because the AMC leader,
Mhm.
who I know his surname's Kamara, because a lot of people call Kamara over there, but he called for a resignation of the electoral committee
Okay.
because they weren't happy. So he called for delaying the elections until it could be done more fair.
Yeah.
The elections are still going on tomorrow.
Right. And the police, was it the police that
I
opened fired on the people?
It's a military, but it was on behalf of the governmental party. Yeah, the
Wow.
government.
Flipping
Um,
heck. Okay. I mean, you've basically shown some hope, you've shown some hope by saving the 73 girls from being genetically mutated. I mean, that's huge, isn't it?
yeah,
So any help you can give and any help that anyone can give that watches this is got to be better than absolutely nothing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and yeah, our girls are lovely, and they're always. I mean, although they've got nowhere to study at home, they always come top in their classes and get elected to be. So we're so proud of them. I
Oh,
mean, before we got involved in Punk for Homeless, they were looked down on by the community
yeah.
because they were orphans and they're seen as witches or spreading Ebola. But now, I mean, because during lockdown, what we did a lot of events called Girls Are Loud, and the
Yeah.
girls would actually do a set for us during those days of a cultural dancing, which will all be you can all find on Punk for Homeless YouTube channel. So our own self-estimation went up, and the estimation of the people in the local community forum went up.
Yeah.
So, and I think the fact that people outside care for them makes an awful lot of difference for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Punk Home was more a small DIY community who try. I
Yeah.
mean, we cannot promise a great deal, but we can promise we'll keep trying.
Yeah. And, a lot of bands, including my band as well, we supported you hugely.
Yeah,
And for you guys to support them, it's, providing hope, isn't it? You never know how big that hope might go. Hopefully those girls will end up running that country and sorting it out one day.
well, we've got 5 of them in college now. We've been through school, got them in college now. 3 of them are training as nurses, 2 of them accountants.
Wicked.
So yeah,
Never
they're good.
know.
No, no, and I mean I see that. I mean I think the kids are always hope for the future.
Yes.
You know,
And the goodness
we
that you
haven't got future without kids, have we?
we got no future without our kids, and the good that you do, the seeds that you sow. do grow. You might not see it, but hopefully others will feel the power.
Yeah, we keep going. We keep going. I mean, it's like I mean, it gets a lot of hard work, but it's temptations to quit. But if we quit, there's nobody.
Exactly. Well,
And
I
I
hope
think
you get loads of support, and
thank you.
you know, we'll just make this little video, put some links perhaps, and some anything else we can find, and you know, anyone that's watching, please do share as wide as you can, and yeah, let's try and see what we can do. Is there any last words that you want to say?
That wallpaper goes riding. Sorry, that was that was Oscar Wilde's last words. So that wallpaper goes riding. No, yeah, just thank all the DIY punk community for continuing to support Punk for Homeless and enabling us to do what we do, because we cannot do it without the bands who play for us, the people who turn up, the people who write, the people who do videos, the radio stations. You know, it's been a hard 13 years. It's been a very rewarding 13 years so far. We've done a lot of good. We've chipped away. We've managed to keep 74 orphan girls alive in Sierra Leone and get them fed and educated. Unfortunately, there's over 100 million street children in the world. So it's about time the world got off its arse and took its responsibility to the most vulnerable people in the world.
We need more people like you everywhere, just doing a little bit in their community, or not in their community, but out. You know, it's hardly your community, is it? But you're still doing it.
It's become our community. You know, I mean, it's weird because I never had children, but I have 74 girls in Sierra Leone who call me dad.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and and it's like they know we love them and care for them, and we'll always be there for them.
Wicked. Well, major respect. Seriously.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. And yeah, if you're listening, please share this, and please share the news of what's happening in Sierra Leone, so that something can be done.
Brilliant, thank you. And hopefully Tara will stick our donation link under this as well, because that'll help us feed the girls. We're getting we just had to fork out. We just had to fork out a load of money to keep people to get them vaccinated. So we're really skint at the moment. So any donation at all is be gratefully accepted.
All right. Cool. Well, let's sort that out after this. We'll
Send you a link.
Yeah, perfect. All right, lovely. Thank you, Eagle, and see you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Tara. Bless you. Hopefully you'll be playing for us sometime in the near future.
Always.
Bless you. Thank you.